Okay, boys, back out here. I've kind of just spent the past couple days cleaning everything, getting ready for winter. Kind of got a late start on putting everything away in like storage and stuff like that. The rod showed up. Just gotta assemble one more piston, put it in. We're ready to put the heads on. Okay, it all fits. I'm gonna finish putting this pin in. You guys already seen me put the pistons in last video. Let me get this one in. Bearings, torqued, everything cleaned up, all that good stuff. I'll probably put the oil pump on, the rear main, and the oil pan on, get that bottom end closed up and put the heads on today. That's the plan. I'll bring you back. All right, boys. Rods are in, pistons are all in. We're gonna start working on this rear main, oil pump, and oil pan. This right here, this is how it was when I got it back from the last engine builder. Where it's sticking out a little bit. I don't know, me and Adrian were trying to figure it out. They do make a tool. We think that this is supposed to be pressed in, actually. A little bit. Yep. You read it? Yep. Adrian looked it up. This is actually supposed to be indented more than flush. But you read the forms and stuff, everyone, I guess, just makes it flush, and they don't have any problems.
You don't want to ever push it all the way to the bottom. That's the biggest thing. That will actually make it worse.
Yeah, just don't push it all the way to that bottom lip right there. But I gotta get all this silicone off. Gotta press that out. I got like 3 of these, if not 4, because I bought multiple gasket kits. We'll probably just use like a 2x4 and knock it down in like an X pattern. But yeah, let me get a razor blade, start cleaning all the silicone off. This thing's gotta be spotless. All right, just take like a razor blade, clean this all up. Because the oil pan seals up against this, so this actually has to go on first with the oil pump, and then you put your oil pan on. Okay, I'm just gonna keep doing this. I'll bring you guys back. I'll probably just scrape it all as much as possible, and then hit it with like a Brillo pad, because you don't want this to be like, you don't want to like sand this and have just like 1000% shiny, because you want silicone to seal in there. So a green Brillo pad would be good. You see how like this backside's kind of rough because it's cut up? That's perfect for the silicone to seal on. Okay. Adrian finally got to see the ADHD anal Ian that sat here and spent probably a good hour cleaning all this. I wanted this thing to look perfect. And now we gotta get this ring out. You don't want to use a Brillo pad on the inside of this ring because you want that to have a nice tight seal. Just put some grease on there. See how hard it's gonna be to get this out. You don't want to pry up against it because it's aluminum. And you don't want to put it in a vise. So I got it set up on 3 pieces of wood, and hopefully I can go in there at like an angle and tap it out. Oh yeah, it's coming right out. You want to clean all that up, but you don't want to scratch. Thing looks brand new. Got my new seals. Now you want grease on everything. You'd rather have this go in smooth than tear it. You want grease on the inside of this too, so when it goes on the crank, you don't tear nothing. Just cover everything, man. Now that I got the main seal in, you're going to want to put silicone all on this. And then, since I have my block on the engine stand, it's going to be super fun. We got to get it down in there. I test fitted it a few times. It's doable. You just really can't mess up or you're going to get silicone on your crank. You don't want that. And you're going to clean all this with alcohol and all that with alcohol so the silicone sticks good. Don't have any oil or grease on any of this. Then clean everything on your block. I got a lot of cleaning. This thing's covered in oil. I'll bring you guys back. Just keep cleaning this. You need this bone dry. I'm gonna try it once with it on the engine stand still. I got it sideways, so I think it's gonna work out a little bit better this way. Cover this with grease like I talked about before. Put some grease on this and fill that with silicone. I'm using JB Weld brand RTV because I like it better. Adrian likes Permatech. I think Permatech stays like a liquid for too long. You put this on, wait 15 minutes, it's already like tacky, and then it's pretty much ready to go in an hour. Yeah, you put it on there, wait 15 minutes, then allow an hour for it to dry, then you torque it down. Permatex, I swear, just stays like water. I don't like that. It squirts all over the place. Try to make this so it can slide on as easy as possible is the plan. I don't know how well you guys were able to see earlier. I didn't have a light. It's got to go over that crank and bolt in that hole, and then there's one on the top that you can reach. It's just not going to be super fun. Whew. That was super easy, actually. That is unnormal for me. I'm actually gonna put a drop of silicone on all of these. Just a little baby drop. Just get barely finger snug. And that came out really good. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I figured I was gonna take this off the engine stand. That's why I kept saying I was only gonna try once. Okay, while I'm waiting on that to set up so I can torque it down, you wanna get all your grease off of this because you also just use silicone on your oil pan. So wipe this all off. And then just do this properly, alright? Don't skip, don't rush. Don't be like, oh, it's okay. Because you don't want silicone filling up in your oil. Just follow the instructions on everything. Everything's gotta be clean. Gotta put that oil pump on. If you've been here for a while, you guys know the headache I had with mine. But it was mainly because they had everything wrong. This time it should go okay. But you still want this all cleaned off. This is a weird design oil pump. It like rides this. Comes through there, rides on this, and then goes in there. Okay, we don't know what the torque is. The one bolt, this bolt right here, which is for the shield, says 8. The oil pump is 11, so I don't know what to do on that. I mean, 8 and 11 isn't that much of a difference, but it says nowhere.
It shows the bolt right there, but no torque next to it.
Yeah, it shows the bolt, but there's no torque printed out on it. I don't know what to do, boys. I guess I'm going to shoot for 10. Alright, boys, back out here. Pretty sure I left off. We just did the rear main seal. We were going to do the oil pump, but Adrian only had like a half hour before he had to leave, and I don't want to rush that. So this right here, if you guys have seen my 5 other videos about the oil pump, I had a lot of troubles with this, with them using the wrong bolts, the last engine builder, and just there's a hole in a couple of these. I believe it's this one and this one. So you need silicone on these ones for sure. I ended up just putting silicone on all of them, and I had no problems at the end. But there's still like remnants of red silicone in these threads. So I'm going to use a bolt, make sure it goes in real nice and smooth. And then I'm going to use a tap that's the same size just to clean these threads all out and make sure all the silicone's out before I put this oil pump on. Because I'm not playing this oil pump game like I did last time. Make sure it goes in by hand. You don't want to make new threads. I just want to get all the, you see it? I doubt you guys can see on camera. But there's a piece of silicone on there. It's super easy just to clean out all these threads. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing that. Clean out all these threads. Clean them all out. You want this mating surface completely clean. Use an OEM gasket, please, for the love of God. Alright, boys. Went through every single one with a tap. Got a good chunk of silicone in a couple of them. Now I'm gonna use some nail polish remover and some Q-tips. Nail polish remover will melt the silicone, alcohol won't, so I'm going to use nail polish remover to make sure I get out all the silicone, let it dry, then I'll hit it with some alcohol, and then we'll be ready to put it on there. And you want to put silicone in these threads. I've talked about this numerous times before in the past. You want to try to get your little silicone nozzle in there and put silicone in the threads, so when the bolt goes in, it pushes it in, doesn't squirt out and get in between the gasket and the block, because you'll have a leak there. If that makes sense. Just a long, tedious process. Yeah, see, I don't know if you guys can see that on camera or not. That's some good chunks of silicone right there. This one's the most important one. This one definitely has a big hole in the bottom of it. Yeah, see that you can put the Q-tip in it. That red silicone's no joke. Even if they clean it, chance of getting all of it out, slim to none. Here it is. Now this is brand new. We know it didn't leak. I'm not replacing this seal. Yeah, I'm not. That thing's still brand new. But I gotta get all this off. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clean all these off. Okay, I mean, I'm just gonna take a razor blade and clean all this off. Get this pump, this gasket off, clean all this up. I mean, you guys just see me do the rear main, right? I don't need to record me taking a razor blade and some Scotch-Brite to this. So I'm gonna do that, I'll bring it back. I kinda just got in the zone for it to turn the camera back on. Everything's clean. This thing's pretty much spotless. Looks like it was when it was brand new. I driving Adrian nuts because I sit here and just wipe everything down 80 times. This face, I didn't record it, but wipe this all down with alcohol. Make sure your threads are all clean again. And I know, like Adrian said, he never put silicone in his, but he also only has a 2-bolt. Maybe this is just a 4-bolt thing. These 2 holes, this one, meet with this bolt hole. Like, you can just put the Q-tip, it's a big hole. You gotta put silicone in there. You just gotta do it. And I don't wanna put silicone on the bolt on here and then put it through, because you might push it in between the gasket and the block, or the gasket and the oil pump. You wanna put silicone down in these threads. I'll show you how I'm gonna do it. Here's my new gasket kit, OEM everything. Okay, the furnace kicked on, so I don't know how well you guys are able to hear me. Don't want any accidents, which, I mean, I'm being real dramatic, but if you didn't see it, go back and watch the oil pump disaster that I had. I tried everything, and it ended up being the engine builder who screwed up, but once I finally got it to work right, I just don't want to chance nothing. $1.5 million gasket. Look how nice these holes line up when you actually get an OEM part. Oh, and I took a wire wheel to all the bolts. They're brand new, so it's not a big deal. Oh, I need grease on this. Then there's two flat spots. There's a flat spot there, and on the other side, you want to try to get your pump lined up with that. And then I'm just gonna go around, make sure nothing got bound up anywhere. Get them all the way on with hand tight. Make sure everything goes smooth. Make sure you use the proper bolts, please. 11 foot-pounds, boys. Do not over-torque this. You'll warp it like the last engine builder did to mine. And then, yes, I am putting my tensioner on now, because one of these holes for this tensioner pulley is one that has a hole in it. Isn't the tensioner bolts more? Okay, we did all of these 11. I just asked Adrian, he's looking it up right now. For some reason, I think that these bolts might actually be 17. Okay, we looked it up. These, the tensioner bolts are 17. These two right here are 17 that hold this tensioner on. Everything else is 11. Oil pump is on. The seal looks good everywhere. We're golden. Okay, flip it over and let's get this oil pan on. Just wipe everything down. Get all your oil and everything off. I'm gonna go over to give it some alcohol, make sure all the grease and everything's off, because this is all just silicone. Gotta clean this oil pan. I never did it. I'm gonna take a razor blade to it, clean all this off, and then I'm gonna spray the whole thing out with brake cleaner. All right, I got tired of it. We were scratching and scratching and scratching with the razor blade. I just got a bunch of stuff in there. I'm gonna use this wire wheel. Been about an hour, for real. Got everything all cleaned out. Cleaned everything up with brake cleaner. Thing looks brand new. I got a couple little bends here and there from when we pried it off. I'm gonna put this on a piece of wood and bend this back flat. Wipe this all down with alcohol now. You got it all straight, all perfect. You see all that I got off? Make sure you just keep wiping it down. You want that silicone to seal. Okay, this is nice to have one of those, like caulk gun ones, but I don't have that. I put a lot on there in a couple spots, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna take it all off to redo it. Right here, I kind of use my finger to push it back, so hopefully if it oozes out, it oozes away and out towards the outside of the pan. That's the plan. Forward, backwards. Okay, it's been an hour. Got to torque these down. It's 5 foot-pounds. Just start in your middle, keep making squares. Same as anything else. Alright, boys. I hate to do this to you, but I think that's going to be the end of this one. I got half of one head done, and I think it deserves its own video. Especially since I'm using bigger cams. Walk you guys through how to, like, check your clearance and make sure your springs are okay and just all that stuff. I think it deserves its own video instead of me just like rushing through it. Oil pump, rear main, and oil pan is on. We'll see you guys in the next one. It'll be putting heads on.